Hello everyone, Coach Carole with you with more tech tips for genealogy in 2025. As promised, today's focus is on using deep research, the newest model inside Chat GPT, and I'm continuing to use it for helping me prepare for my experiences at Roots Tech 2025. Let's go across to Roots Tech for a moment. Show you what I'm wanting to find out about. And you can get to this page, which is all about what relatives or friends are going to Roots Tech. And you get that from Roots Tech page here. And if you click on Roots Tech event, you'll see relatives at Roots Tech. This is how I got to this page. And it tells me that apparently 295 of my relatives have joined. I won't view them here because it will show up your names. You can invite your friends to relatives at Roots Tech by sharing here. And you can make even more connections during Roots Tech. Specifically, it tells me that 19 people with my last name, McCullough, have joined from these places, or from the United States, 2 from New Zealand, and 1 from Colorado, United States. If I wanted to, I can check another last name that might be in my family history. It's an interesting thing to do at Roots Tech. Coming over to Chat GPT, I've given it a rather complex task to do. But initially, I wanted to start the ball rolling by asking Chat GPT, how can I find out which of my relatives are attending the Roots Tech event? Just giving that very simple prompt at the top. Come back and ask for clarification. Am I looking for official attendee lists? Would I like help with the family searches, Roots Tech relatives feature? Or do I want tips on how to reach out to relatives via social media, etc.? And the one that I wanted, of course, was using family searches, Roots Tech relatives feature. So I put in my next prompt, which specified which one I was looking for. Now it has established a pattern through which it will guide me on using this particular feature. So at the moment, it's still gathering details on these aspects: how to access and enable the Roots Tech relatives feature, steps to see your related attendees, privacy settings and how to control visibility, and alternative ways to connect with relatives at the event. And as it says, it'll get back to me with a step-by-step guide shortly. So it's still pulling all of that together. So far it has 30 sources. So I'll pause here and come back and show you the result. Now that took 8 minutes, it says here. Research completed in 8 minutes and used 32 sources. It has come up with an extensive and comprehensive plan for me in using the Roots Tech relatives feature to find relatives at Roots Tech 2025. And within the text, I won't read from it, I'll just scan through it to show you its complexity. It has the reference and the link within the text. So if I wanted to find out 5 things to do with relatives at Roots Tech, I can go to thefamilyheart.com. Now it's going through a process of really deep research to get the information that I need. And it begins with number 1, accessing and enabling Roots Tech relatives in family search. So it has needed to go and find out information, but it can't look inside my account. Let me show you some of the things that it was able to do. Just give me an activities. On for a moment, I'll come back to that. So first deals with accessing and enabling roots to relatives, and gives me a few dot points here: registering, signing in, navigating, joining, etc. Very comprehensive. And it tells me that this feature is available from now through till April 11. I got that information from the newsroom at the Church of Jesus Christ. Remembering that we can't look inside my Roots Tech. And then goes on to number 2, finding and viewing your relatives. It even gives me imagery to show how that will work on my iPhone. And once again, give me reference to the familyheart.com. I noticed that it took quite a while in actually going through online places such as this one to come up with this information. And quite a lot of instructions here, but it also gives me some context as to why I might use this feature and what I can do with it. For example, it lets you show relatives from your mother's side only or your father's side only. You can simplify your list. You can also look at it by a distinct region, a location in the world. It allows you to group your relatives by country. You can filter it by ancestor and also by family line. So all of this I'd already had a close look at in the feature itself. And you can search attendees by name. And you can see it all on a map. It makes a lot of sense to me that I can see this on a map to show where they are in the world. So on it goes. Even giving me practical tips along the way. And then advice on contact these relatives through family service. Sending a message, adding the contacts, planning a meetup, using the Roots Tech chat during the event, etc. And then some information about privacy settings and controlling your information. Always useful to have that. Specifically about information shared, data protection, and profile privacy controls. Already it was in-depth and extensive. Quite a lot of insight here. And then number 4 is about connecting with my relatives outside of family search and what I might do there. So it's giving me even more to do after the event. I don't think I'd attempt to do this during Roots Tech. But certainly I'm a member of many social media groups, and I might add a few more that are related to Roots Tech. And then number 5, the new features and updates for Roots Tech 25. And it will remain open through to April 11. Ample time, because there's many events that I haven't actually put on my schedule because they're not in a time frame that suits me. I can go back and view the recordings. And it's still going. Coming to the end now, in a little bit of a summary here. The core idea remains the same. Find and connect with your family. But the filters and app improvements introduced around this year make it easier to navigate and continue those connections. And a conclusive paragraph. And I like the fact that it has given me its sources at the bottom of the document. And again, I can click on those if I want further information. It took a while for this to happen, which I kind of thought would be the case because it's deep research and that does take a bit of time. The results are outstanding. All of this now can be copied and pasted into my Google Docs and will help me to use that Roots Tech Relatives feature. So I hope that you have enjoyed having a look at deep research using Chat GPT. I've only just touched the surface of this one, so it's early days for me. But I advise you to have a look, making sure that when you start a new chat, that you select the deep research. Yeah. Not sure what 9 available until March 29, or 9 conversations. Wow. So it is limited still. And with the depth that it goes to, I can understand that. We turn it on and then put in your prompt. Think carefully about what prompt you want it to deal with. Thank you for joining me on this tech tip number 15 in the series of tech tips for genealogists in 2025.